Good morning, everyone, or afternoon. It's actually just hit afternoon, I think.
Yes.
It's 12 o'clock. We're Tuesday, and we're in good nick, actually. Yeah, it's good nick. It's mad we watching this one, actually. We seem to be particularly well organised, which is not like us, but anyhow. Hey, it's the team.
Miracles happen.
Miracles happen.
And it'll be total bedlam on the next one.
I probably the better one was I wasn't here for a few days, so maybe that's why things went better without my constant stress. As I mentioned yesterday, I did have a fantastic t-shirt from Laurie, our pal. And today's one is the Thomas Connolly in Sligo town. Paul, we visited over, we were over, I can't even remember what we were over for. We were in Sligo for a reason.
We were collecting and we just stayed in
Sligo. And we stayed in Sligo town, and we went across for a drink, and Paul didn't happen to be there, and he said, I must send you, keep meaning to send you t-shirts, and he did send us t-shirts, and again, very thank you, very grateful, very colourful, lovely one.
I know, it's cool.
Of the bar. I seen the some of their Instagram posts with the staff wearing them as well, so yeah. Now obviously none of the staff model them quite as well as I do.
Of course.
This is only a single XL, and it's
oh, look at you.
Yeah,
it's a bit snug, baby.
She's snug now. Yes. It's showing all my manly curves. Today I wanted to talk about the Barrel Club. The Barrel Club announced recently that it was coming to an end, and I don't know, there was mixed feelings on a lot of people on it, and sort of saying we have been a follower and a member of the Barrel Club since the start. I think there's some great bottles in it. It was a great opportunity to taste some bottles. I can see the point of view from Midleton's point of view. Were they getting the engagement that they wanted? You know, were they hitting the audience that they wanted? Ultimately, products like this are really aimed at a new audience, to try and get them on board, to try and taste the things, but also for the experienced whiskey drinker, that they're exploring the whiskey itself rather than just, you know, looking at it on a shelf.
But I think the main problem was that the experienced drinkers, or the experience, I don't mean that like they're all raging alcoholics, but I think they were expecting something new. I think they were expecting, you know, a different experience.
Yeah.
Instead of getting like fair play to Middleton, because the Christmas cake one was fabulous.
Yeah.
But any of the bottles that sort of did come, people had them already.
Yeah.
People had opened them already.
Yeah.
People had tried them already.
Yeah.
As you said, it was aimed for somebody that's getting into the whole thing.
Yeah.
But at a price tag it had, there was not a lot of newbies wanting to pay that.
Yeah, 500 a year, 500 for the year for the subscription. It was quite a bit. The initial one that came with the two lovely tall glasses
are amazing.
They're gorgeous. The named bottle that's with it as well. I mean, it is a great product. You know, as I can see where they were going with it. I just don't know it ever hit the spot that it was meant to.
No,
and
didn't.
Again, they have.
That's my opinion.
But that's what we're here to do. We're here to give our opinions. They have like their video streams that they talk about, you know, the product as well, that in each quarterly release and that as well. But I just always felt that I don't know what it was missing, but I just felt it was missing. And again, people were sort of, you know, judging it as a value proposition. Were they saying like, really, is a bottle of Method and Madness, or is a bottle of things, you know, the few standout bottles, the John's Lane cask strength.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic example. Really shows how good Powers whiskey is in its own right.
And that, I think, if I may be wrong, but I think through the course of the Barrel Club and us auctioning off barrel clubs, there was very few John Lanes.
Yeah.
Because people cracked them open because they'd never tasted it
before.
before.
And strange enough, I was looking for one to do the video today, and we didn't have one in this one. We had two last month.
Yeah.
And they are getting a good premium. And I mean, again, as a speculator's point of angle on it, I mean, most of them were getting, you know, half of your annual subscription back. So they were hitting the €200 plus. Some of them were going more.
Yeah.
So you were getting your money back as well. But look, I still think it leaves maybe a gap in the market for something like that. This is the latest one. This is the Jameson one that's come out recently. A blend of grain and pot still Irish whiskey. And again, the lovely tasting mat and the notes on the whiskey inside as well. Talks about the black barrel proof, the crested. Again, the story of crested. I mean, that's probably one of the most unsung heroes in Jameson's lineup.
Crested's lovely.
Yeah, Crested's you know, a traditional man's drinking whiskey. The 18-year-old, and again, you know, from the secondary point of view, looking at it from the secondary market, Jameson 18-year-old really doesn't get its kudos.
No, and it is nice liquid.
It is a good whiskey.
And whether it be just the standard one or the cask strength.
The cask strength, yeah, I think it's a great one. But again, look, that was the platform that it came on. This one was a cask strength again, 59.4% of Jameson. And then you've got the 3 sample bottles. Lovely. I can imagine the cost for Midleton was probably more than they ever took in on it.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Because again, the production cost and all that sort of stuff, and then the marketing and everything that involved in it. So you can see why they may be terming it. They sort of going, look, has this run its course and that. And it happens. I mean, from time to time with brands and products, they do something out there and it sort of runs its course and comes out of it. So that was the later one. I think this is a Napo Castle one.
It is, yeah.
Again, Napo Castle was bought by IDL Pernod Ricard as part of the Castle Brands group. It was a group of brands that they bought. But again, people were looking at this and going, you know, Napo 12, is it really that special? But then again, you've got the different 14-year-old one, 16-year-old one, and the 21-year-old Napo Castle samples and that. And again, not many people would have had an opportunity to taste them side by side. And again, lovely production. I mean, again, the notes and the bottles and the description on it and the story of Napo. You know, look, it's nice. I think it's a great product. As I say, it just never quite. I don't know. I don't know. I think the whiskey community is a fickle thing. It really is a fickle thing if you don't get the story right. This is a Method and Madness one. Again, you know, telling the story of what the whole Method and Madness project is, about the cask management and how they can be more innovative in the small micro distillery. I love the term micro distillery. It's all relevant with Midleton, but the micro distillery, I think, is either the 4th or the 5th biggest distillery in the country. Midleton's micro distillery. You know, that's
micro
just,
to Midleton.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's all a matter of perspective with it. Again, Eva, she's the distiller in the micro distillery. We've lucky enough to been at a few tastings with Eva and Finbar, who have talked us through the story of the Method and Madness project. This is the French oak and acacia wood. This was exclusive to the Barrel Club as well. That wasn't on general release. The acacia wood has been out on its own.
Yeah.
And the French chestnut is probably one of the most popular
of
the Method and Madness ones. So then there's this bad boy. So this was the Christmas edition, and this was probably the one I think that got most fanfare. The Taste of Christmas, and obviously the tasting mat for it. We got the Paris Gold label, Jameson Stout edition, Redbreast 12, and then the Redbreast Christmas Cake edition. And it's mad to hear or to see it described as the Christmas Cake edition when so many times the Redbreast product would be would be labelled as the Christmas cake drink. You know, I know
because you got them dried fruits
the spices and all that, and it all comes through, and it really does exacerbate it. I know people that have tasted this that aren't gone on it, that aren't really sort of said it was nearly too far to that envelope. But again, that's the the fickleness of.
It's like the small batch for the stage, the one it's light blue.
Yeah,
it's very Christmassy cakey, but on a lighter scale.
On a lighter scale, on a very lighter scale.
It's fab.
This was taking it to the nth degree. But again, it just shows how different people's palates are. Some people love this, some people didn't like it, and again, that's the sort of the audience that they're trying to get. Hopefully, people were talking about it, and again, Redbreast I think is their leader going into develop the pot still category into America and worldwide. Because they'll talk about it as a unique style of Irish whiskey. But again, I think there's a lot of people going to miss out on that. If there was only the few that was put out with this, you wonder would they ever do this as another special edition for future Christmases or stuff like that.
Well, they should, because I think it would be a runner.
Yeah, I definitely think so, Katie.
I do, because it is lovely.
Yeah, I like the bird feeder. You wonder sort of type thing, is the bird feeder nearly done now? Is it time to change it up and do something else? But they've redone it with a different colour presentation, and
the cage
has changed and all that sort of stuff as well. That, as I say, led me to thinking about what other products are out there that do that. I mean, again, in truth, there's lots of little guerrilla tastings, and societies are a great way to taste a lot of these bottles. But there's very few of them that have done it at the scale. Very few companies that probably could do it at the scale
of a full bottle and samples.
And samples, what IDL done,
no.
wouldn't have the budget.
No.
I mean, in truth, maybe Teeling are probably about the only other one that's capable of doing something
Possibly.
like that. You can't imagine. I mean, Brendan and all them, the budget to put together the packaging, the tasting bottles, you know, the presentation that goes with it, it's quite considerable.
Exactly, and you don't know how many people had signed up to it, so you don't know how many full-size bottles are going out the door.
That was probably part of people's original gripe too. I mean, originally the story was that there was only going to be, 500 people allowed into it. And I think that's a level of frustration with Midleton overall with people. They never release numbers. I mean, I sort of get it in a way, but it nearly does better to tell the story of the numbers that go along with it. I mean, Midleton Very Rare. Is it really very rare when there's 80,000 bottles?
Yeah, I know. I know.
You know, everything else that they tell the story, that the Pearl, there's only 117 bottles, or the Silent Distilleries, there's only well, even that's running away with itself now with 119 and
Dream Cask.
And the Dream Cask as well. Again, why not put the numbers out there so people can, sort of judge for themselves whether it is very rare and stuff like that. But again, for that product as well, I mean, people would have liked to have the uniqueness of there only being 500 people.
I know what you're saying.
And that's it. It's capped at 500 people, but they didn't. And that's a wee bugbear I have with them. I think they sort of need to be more transparent in stuff like that. For a company their size, they make so many good things, and they make so many poor decisions as well. I think they make, and again, I suppose that's part of the corporate structure, whereas every business should be run like this, where it's a dictatorship and we all do what you tell us. Oh, sorry. I do what you tell me, and then they do what I tell them.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
So ultimately, Katie's the dictator. I'm just the face of it. I was going to say poor Hitler was misunderstood. Eva Braun was a cow. That is it for today. On that note, we'll be back tomorrow. We're probably going to talk about Dreamcast tomorrow, because again, it's inevitable that there'll be a lot of appetite for them after the new one's launched. We have quite a few in this month's auction. Loads. We've had to actually email people and sort of say, look, do you want us to put them all in, because
we have X
amount and we're going to put it in, and it's ultimately put it back. And then we do not allow reserves on any bottle that's less than 3 months old.
Nope.
That's a decision we made many years ago, of let the market find its feet. Let's not try and force prices on it. I mean, we did have a few instances where people said, I want X for my Dream Cask, and we sort of said no, that's not what this is. This is an auction. Let it find its feet. In 3 months' time, have at it, and you can dictate what you want. And again, that's always a concern for us, is the reality of people's expectations against what the market actually is as well. And we're constantly trying to have them conversations and sort of hope that people will trust us. We can see that in over the years that the numbers of items with reserves on them have reduced. But again, I'd say nearly auction 2 was probably nearly 100% reserves, whereas now we're doing well if we've sort of 15% even
less.
Yeah, exactly. We've a couple of new features. As I say, we're going to be talking about them on the website. We're going to have a notes field, so when you're doing your checkout, you can, if you're going to be on holidays, it's one of the things that we get most emails for after an auction. I'm not going to be in this day, or
can you hold it in such a week or whatever. We've
got a notes field in there, so you can literally type in your own notes. We'll see that when we go to pick and pack, and we'll do whatever the instruction is, hopefully, because we have dropped the ball a few times on that. People have
unfortunately,
said to us, but it just gets lost in the melee after an auction,
because there's so many ways. Like, you've emailed, you've messaging, you've phone calls, you've Instagram, you've Facebook.
Carrier pigeons. Carrier pigeons. And there's a flock of them out the back.
And you wonder why I hate technology.
Yeah, Kitty. That's why you hate technology. Yeah. And one of the other things that we're doing is we're traditionally about 95% sell rate.
Yes.
95-96%. So some of the items don't have any bids on them at all, and they just end at 7 o'clock. So we made the decision to sort of see, could we extend them? Because people are always looking for the bargain. So they're concentrating on what they're bidding on at the time
Of
and what
course,
they've been
yeah,
chasing.
yeah.
But then there might be other items to go, oh, just I wouldn't mind picking up that. You see, that's only €20,
And then
so
it
pick
gets
that
lost
up. And it
towards
gets
the
lost
end, yeah.
at 7 o'clock. So what we're doing is, any item that doesn't have a bid in it will be extended until the last active item ends on the site. So if there's any bid after 7 o'clock, it then follows the normal rules of
Yeah.
that item. But if it has no bids at 7 o'clock, it'll now be extended until the last item is actually ends on the clock, or until it receives a bid and ends normally. But that's one of the innovations. We're constantly trying to improve the website. It's something that I haven't stopped from day one, and we're working and we're working and we're working
All the time.
to try and make it better for you. And we've loads of stuff coming over the next few months. But that's it for now. We shall be back tomorrow.
Yes.
As I say, a dream class. We'll talk about them then. Until then,
Adios.
bye bye. T-shirts, 2XL, Irish Whiskey Auctions, Jumbo Anto. Bye.